She killed her own mother for Instagram followers. I want you to think about the last photo you liked on Instagram. Maybe it was a sunset, a meal, a girl with perfect hair and a perfect smile, living what looked like a perfect life. Now I want you to ask yourself, what would someone have to sacrifice to get that life? Because in 2018, a young woman in Moscow decided the answer to that question was her own mother. Her name was Anastasia Sokolova. She was 22 years old, obsessed with social media fame, and convinced that the only thing standing between her and the life she deserved was the woman who gave her life in the first place. What happened next shocked investigators, shook a nation, and left a question none of us have fully answered yet. What does social media do to a person's mind? Part 1. Background. Anastasia grew up in a modest household in Russia. By all accounts, her mother, Tatiana, was a devoted, hard-working woman. She cleaned, she cooked, she sacrificed. The kind of mother who went without so her daughter wouldn't have to. But Anastasia had grown up with her eyes on a different world. Instagram, in 2017 and 2018, was at the absolute peak of its influence. Russian influencer culture was exploding. Women with thousands of followers were landing brand deals, luxury gifts, trips to Dubai. And all you needed, it seemed, was the right image. Anastasia wanted that image badly. She wanted expensive clothes, a luxury apartment. She wanted to look like she had money, because in the world she was chasing, appearance was currency. But there was a problem. Her mother controlled the family finances, and Tatiana wasn't interested in funding her daughter's Instagram fantasies. She was practical, conservative. She didn't understand the influencer world, and frankly, she didn't need to. She was a mother trying to keep her family grounded. To Tatiana, this was love, boundaries, responsibility. To Anastasia, it was an obstacle. Part 2. The crime. What investigators would later piece together is a story that feels almost impossible to believe until you see it play out, detail by cold detail. At some point in early 2018, Anastasia began to fixate on her mother's assets. Tatiana owned property. She had savings, money that, in Anastasia's mind, should have been hers. There's no exact date when the thought crossed from frustration into something darker, but the planning, investigators concluded, was deliberate. This wasn't a moment of rage. This was premeditated. On the day of the murder, Anastasia attacked her mother inside their home. The method was brutal and personal, the kind of violence that only happens between people who once loved each other. Tatiana was killed inside the apartment they shared. Then came what made this case unlike almost any other. Anastasia didn't run. She didn't call for help. She didn't break down. She cleaned up. And then, and this is the part that investigators say still disturbs them, she continued living her life as if nothing had happened. She posted on social media. She made plans. She spent money. She had already begun thinking about what came next, inheriting her mother's assets, using that money to finally build the lifestyle she had always wanted. The body of Tatiana Sokolova remained in the apartment while her daughter planned her future. Part 3. The investigation. It was the neighbors who first raised the alarm. Tatiana was a woman of routine, and when that routine disappeared, people noticed. When police arrived and made entry into the apartment, what they found inside was devastating. Anastasia was taken in for questioning, and here's where the case took another chilling turn. She wasn't a good liar, or perhaps she didn't feel she needed to be. The motive was so transparent, the behavior afterwards so brazen, that investigators didn't need to work long to put the picture together. Financial records showed Anastasia had already begun moving money. Her social media accounts, active and cheerful in the days following her mother's death, told their own grotesque story. She was charged with murder. Investigators described a young woman so consumed by the desire for material status, for the curated aesthetic of a life she'd seen through a screen, that she had crossed a line no human being should ever cross. Psychological evaluations painted a picture of someone deeply influenced by the distorted reality of social media, a person who had, over years, come to value image above everything else, above family, above law, above life. In 2019, Anastasia Sokolova was convicted of her mother's murder. She was sentenced to 10 years in a Russian penal colony. I've spent a long time thinking about Tatiana, not Anastasia, Tatiana. A woman who woke up one morning as someone's mother, who had spent decades giving and sacrificing and doing what mothers do, loving someone more than herself, and whose final days were spent in the same apartment as a daughter who had already decided she was worth more dead than alive. There's no clean ending here, no resolution that ties this up into something we can learn from and move on. Because the uncomfortable truth is, Anastasia didn't come from nowhere. She came from a world we all helped build, a world where follower counts feel like self-worth, where someone else's highlight reel becomes the measuring stick for your own life, where a girl can look at everything her mother gave her and still feel like it wasn't enough, because somewhere on a screen, someone had more. I'm not saying Instagram killed Tatiana Sokolova. A person made that choice. A person bears that guilt. But I am asking, what are we feeding every day when we pour more of ourselves into a curated performance of a life? What does it do, slowly, quietly, to the way we value things, to the way we value people? Anastasia is serving her sentence in a penal colony right now. Tatiana is gone, and somewhere out there right now, millions of people are scrolling. I just wonder, what are they looking for? If this story stayed with you, share it. Not for the algorithm, for Tatiana.